All right, tell us how this all started and where we're at today.
I scouted the laundromat in September. We called the leasing agent, and at that time they had a lease out with a person. They were waiting to hear back if he was approved a loan for equipment. So at that time, we didn't have much to follow up on. We called him at the end of October. He did not answer. We left a voicemail. And then we called him, I believe, December 3rd, and he picked up right away. He said it's available. The rest is history. You guys negotiated. We've been back and forth many times, LOI, and his red lines, and asking for financials and all of that good stuff. And here we are today.
We started off being told, well, you're not going to get that. And there's no way he's going to do that because this is the landlord's agent. Oh, well, he's never done that.
She has no track record. She has no assets. She has $80,000. Her net worth is $80,000.
How many people do you know that has 80 grand that's not a real estate investor? Come on.
To open a business is crazy. I think it's crazy to open a business on $80,000.
I hope everybody is very, very excited because I know I am. We're going to do a couple of things. We're going to get our nurse practitioner, our friend Rebecca, on the line, and we're going to call back her landlord's agent.
Hey, Danny.
I knew you'd say that. How's work? Any gushers? Any blood?
Did I see blood today? No, just some wounds.
Wounds without blood?
Everybody in the ER is freaking out because I drove here 2 hours. I'm not going to let Shelly drive.
Like wounds that you need to dress and stuff seaweed into?
Something like that. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Seaweed.
The usual nurse-related things.
Awesome. All right, so timeline. You do all the talking. What have we done here? Without any names or addresses, you found the place, and what happened?
I found the place. We called the realtor in September. He said, we have a lease out for signature. You're too low. The price that you're asking is too low for today's market. And he said the person that they had the lease out with has like 3 stores. They're just waiting to get loan for equipment, basically saying we need to have proof that they're approved for a loan for equipment before we'll allow him to sign the lease. That goes on. We call him in October, and he doesn't respond. So we called him back again on Tuesday, on the 3rd, and he said that it's available for lease. The plumbing is there. You guys went back and forth about the rent and the amount per square foot. He said, we got a bunch of offers. They have no financials and no money. How are they going to redo this? And he said that the owner is willing to keep the space vacant and empty because it's a tax write-off. And so when we put the LOI together at $20 a square foot plus triple nets with 8 months of abatement, he came back almost immediately and said, I've kept your rent at what you asked, but we need to start January 1st.
Yeah, that was the cool thing. I'm glad you remembered all that. Thank you for the recap. And I was walking around the streets of New York and found a quiet place, and we got on a phone last week because we sent the LOI.
He emailed the LOI back with their red lines.
Right.
Different changes.
Right.
So I said, he emailed us back, and you had shown me some text messages that he had sent to you, screenshots.
Yeah.
But anyway, so when we
Full
talked
service.
while you were in New York.
Yeah,
when we were in New York, not while we were in New York, while you were in New York.
Don't tell my wife that you were there, all right? No, but God damn it. Now everybody knows. Shit. 2 hotels are not cheap.
It's been 20 years since I've been there, so it wasn't me.
All right.
But anyway, so we got on the phone and I went over all the red lines that he sent over, and you're like, look, he'll reach back out. If he reaches back out, then we'll contact him. But we're just going to basically, I don't know, play hard to get.
Yeah, I'm so good at this. Yeah. So the timeline was sent LOI. He almost immediately redlined the LOI. And when he sent that email, he also said, if we do this and give you this exceptional rate, we need you to move in, which January 1, which is basically less than 3 weeks, right?
Right. So they're not in a rush, but let's do it right away.
If you give people enough rope, they will lie out their corner of their mouth, to mix some metaphors. So he said, oh, he'll sit on it. This landlord doesn't give a shit. It's a write-off. They'll let it sit forever. Can you move in a week? So it's funny because now I think that tells us when he showed the LOI to the landlord said, oh, these are serious people. This is a great letter. Mm-hmm. This looks like they really know what they are doing, unlike the other louts that they've been dealing with. And he said, good. They want us in by the first of the year because of tax purposes. That's all. The landlord's savvy. But it doesn't allow the realtor to save face, because now it's like, oh, he'll sit on it forever. But it makes sense. All right, I understand that. I'm not gonna press him on it. But the fun point was,
he came back. Yeah, he came back with 3 months of abatement, and then the additional 5 months at half month's rent versus the 8 months that we offered.
The reason it's not hard to get, the reason that we didn't call him last week, not because I was in New York, not because I'm out of pocket. The only time I don't get on the phone is if I'm hammering nails or shooting guns. So that's not the thing. My property has internet and phone. I won't go anywhere that doesn't, right? It's kind of dangerous. I'm on a plane. I'm in a cubicle. I've got a phone. The point is, we did that because what I told you was true. The bunch of shit in here is not correct, and we're not going to do anything until he writes back, calls, texts, or writes, or emails and says, hey, are you still interested? Because now we got him.
Yep.
It's a very different feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I kind of like you. Here's my number. All right. How long do you wait? 7 days. You've seen Swingers.
Many years ago, yes.
You and your many years ago. Never been to New York. All right.
I only went once. Yeah.
We're going to call and we're going to say yes. And now I want to look at his redlined LOI.
Okay. He sent it to both of us.
Yes.
Basically, all in gross, it would be $2.16 a foot with the triple nets.
Hello, are you interested in this site? Please let me know as soon as possible. See, all of a sudden there's all this urgency.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that we need to say yes and or no on? Rent abatement.
Rent abatement. I would like it to be longer than 3 months and
Absolutely.
then 5 months half rent.
This is his red lines, $20 per annum, 50 cents, all fine,
Yep.
abated rent. He goes from 8 to 3, so we need to get it back to 6. And what we can do is say, well, okay, let's do
You
from...
want us to start on January 1st.
Yeah, starting January 1 and following 5 months of base rent shall be delivered in working condition. And that's fine. We want that warranted within... Oh, he left it in there. Yeah, so it's warranted.
Yeah, he left it in there.
Yeah, so your air is going to be fine.
What I mentioned to you last week is even the common area lights they're not functioning. So that center is really, really dark. And I don't think that anyone would feel safe, especially not a female doing laundry would feel safe going in there after dark.
Excellent.
I mean, it's just completely
Did you put
dark.
that in the LOI?
I didn't. Maybe I should have, but I didn't
It's
put
okay.
that in there.
That's a very small thing. When they send the lease, it's going to have some $10,000 perhaps deposit. Okay.
Right.
And that's when I will bring up the lights, because here's the psychology. We'll call them up. I'll say, look, we should have hammered this out already. It's not a big thing, but I don't want to be out there on a ladder fixing the lights in the common area. We intend to run this place 24/7, and those lights need to be changed. And then I'll shut up and he'll say, yeah, that's fine. And scratch the deposit. You know how I do that.
Yeah.
And this is not a lease. This is not. Yeah, we're going to save that. This is not a lease. This is not your deal. And so I think the only thing we're calling about is like, hey, I didn't call back because I thought you're kidding. You know, he's giving us the 20. We can't do anything about the triple nets, and we want 6 months of abatement. If he says no, he won't do it. I say, all right, well, you want us to start January 1. Let's make it 7. And here I am just talking, And if he says absolutely no, we'll say, well, we have an alternative. The alternative is, let's do your 3 months after we've retooled.
There you go.
And what I mean is not some grand opening or some grand gesture or it's in the front page of the LA Times. What I mean is the moment that we replace one piece of equipment, 3 months starts from there. And if I were you, I'd rather have that.
Yeah, I would rather have that.
Because I'm ready to walk away from this. Are you?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you,
Yep.
Jesus. That's the right answer. All right, let's call our friend and see what happens. Stand by.
Hey, Danny.
Let's do a deal.
Okay.
Finally.
You disagree. So, what's the decision? I send you a counter. Did you see it? You want
Yeah.
that deal? Let's go.
Yeah, I saw it. I ignored it. It was silly.
I know. Why?
I know.
It's great.
You can't say I know and then why. Look, I'm acquiescing at this amount first and foremost. It's not what I want to pay. I want to top out at that, but here we go. Secondly, this guy doesn't want to give us any money, and I know that he doesn't want to give us any money. So that being said, you've got to give us more free rent. I can't even get the equipment ordered in 3 months, and I don't know why the hell you want to start in a week. What's that all about? Explain that. You said, "Oh, sit on it forever." He doesn't care, but you want to get it done in 2 weeks.
Because he doesn't want us to stretch it for another 2 months, and then you come back and say he's giving you a lower rent, but then he's like, "Start it now. If you want to do it quick. Start it January 1st."
That makes sense.
Yeah, he's just being fair. He says, "Okay, you want a lower rent."
He's sick and tired of dealing with this goddamn laundromat people. I know you guys have had people.
Yeah, he's like, "You want lower
through.
rent? Okay, lower rent. But do it quick. Don't go back and forth."
Okay, I'll allow that. But 3 months isn't going to cut it, man. That's
how much time. I mean, we gave you half a rent. I don't have it in front of me, but we gave
look. We only asked for 8. We only asked for 8 because I normally get 12 months on 15 years. That's my hope and my goal. We only asked for 8 because I thought we talked about 8. I thought we would be able to get 8.
Oh, but the plumbing is there. How long does it take for you to place the equipment?
When you go to Home Depot, Lowe's, or Best Buy to buy a washer or a dryer, your hope is that they pull it off the shelf and you leave with it, right?
Okay.
Maybe they say, well, shit, howdy, COVID. I don't know. We can't get it. That happened.
No, I understand.
Right?
But
okay,
like,
well, I want to explain.
Time?
This equipment, we're talking 50 washers, 50 tumblers, and they don't sit in a warehouse like Indiana Jones somewhere. This equipment must be made to order. And like I said, I can't even get it in the store in 3 months. So we're sitting on our hands.
What's besides 8? How many months between me and you would work? So I put.
I have a better idea. You can't do 8. Let's do 3 months after the day. 3 months of abatement after the day that we install the first piece of equipment. Not some cockamamie grand opening or soft opening or when I finally get the tile put in. The day we install the first piece of equipment, we have 3 months of abatement from them. Not the day we install the last piece, the day we install the first piece. Because I would rather do it that way. Then we're both kind of biting our nails saying, shit, I hope we get this equipment in quickly because the winter is the best time for these stores. And I could go on ad nauseum about that too. I don't want to, but.
No, what I can do it in a way like give you 5 months, but if you open earlier, you pay rent. Or even push for the 8 months and say if you open earlier, you pay rent.
Sure, I love that. The abatement period for us is not like a McDonald's where the minute the arches go up, everybody knows. They're driving by 100 miles an hour on the freeway. The kids say, I want a Happy Meal. And you've got lines outside for the shouties. No, with us, we have to drag these consumers back. Everybody that used this laundromat has already found another one. It might be shitty, it might be further, but people don't stack up their laundry in the closet and say, I'm gonna wait till that place opens. They can't. they've already found another laundromat. You could live without, I don't know, Chinese food for a year, but you can't live without a laundromat. So,
But 8 months, but the 8 months you asked didn't have any abatement. It's 8 months. So you have
8 months flat. No, I'd rather, can you approve this right now on this call, or do you need to go back to somebody?
I have to go and talk to him and convince him to do it.
Everything else remains the same. The guy's given us no goddamn money. The place has been sitting empty forever.
Okay.
So tell you what, I would rather have 3 months post-install. You can call it install of equipment, but I'm telling you to be specific because I've seen this happen before. I'm not trying to screw you. I'm saying the minute that we put one, because when the first piece of equipment goes in, the last piece will go in within the week. Does that make sense?
Okay. So you have 3 months.
No, 3 months, free rent, post-install. And I'm not talking
But
about
that's leaving it open-ended. Maybe it takes.
No, it's not. It's not open-ended at all. That's why I said first piece of equipment goes in. And you, my friend, are not going to have to go send a spy to look and see when it happens. We will let you know. Hey, leading up to it, approval for equipment. It's being built. It's coming in. What if it's 9 months and we finally end our abatement period? Who gives a shit? You're going to get the rent.
But the problem is that's still open-ended. It's better we have a date. So if, maybe, so.
I told you I'd rather have it that way, so say 8 months. You can go back to them and ask either or. It's either 8 months or 3 months post-install. And that's the install of, I didn't have to say first piece of equipment. I don't mean the last. I don't mean they're sweeping their way out and saying, congratulations, good luck with the laundry. I mean the day that the equipment arrives.
The day that the equipment arrives in your shop.
When the first piece of equipment is installed.
Yeah, when they see the boxes there, that's when it starts.
Well, yeah, I'm not going to fucking mince words with you. You know me. I like your style, man, because you're fighting for this landlord the way that you should. And you're trying to get this all understood. When the first piece of equipment is installed, not the last. I'll put it in writing. We'll email it over to you. I'm not going to redo the whole LOI, but that's the only thing that needs to be different. Let's do that.
Okay, let me talk to him, see if I can convince him to do anything similar.
You can.
Or give it the 8 months. Okay, I'll call you.
All right, bye.
I'll let you know.
Thanks.
All right, bye. Thank you.
So, all right, basically, we worked this out. We only had the one thing that we needed to ask for. And I said, bro, we talked about 8 months. And he's like, well, the 8 months not going to happen. We're giving you the rent that you want. And I said, okay, listen, let's do 3 months post installation of the first piece of equipment, not the last,
right?
Not when the sign goes up that says grand opening, And that was basically it. And I asked him, and there's a little bit of I want to give a landlord's agent enough agency to let them feel like they're responsible, but he doesn't make the decision. So at some point I did ask him, like, are you making this decision? Because he sure as hell makes it sound like he is. And then I gave him that's all the psychology. I gave him a compliment and I said, you're really good at this. You're sitting here fighting as though it's your building or something along those lines. And,
I did hear that.
He knows the landlord and I'm supposed to be the enemy. But the real fact is, I think both of us, because I know I do, both of us appreciate an adversary that is worth our time and effort. And I see that. I'm like, you're not making the decision. Now, sometimes the landlord's agent is the husband or the wife, or in reality, it's a cousin, or the landlord is so checked out that they do make the decisions, and it's pretty obvious. But he has to go back. He's like, well, let me go work on this. Realtors are supposed to work for you. In this society with commercial space, they don't work for us. They don't pretend like when you buy a house, oh, I really want you to get this home, Rebecca. It's got the yard that you want and the pool. I'm going to work for you. As much as that may be bullshit, in this instance, in every lease, they don't even pretend. They're like, oh, fuck you. I'm going to tell the landlord you're nuts. Whoa.
Yeah.
Who's representing you if you're making those calls? Who's representing you if you're trying to start your trampoline room or your nail salon or your laundromat? Well, it's me or nobody. What does it take?
Hi, Danny.
Tell me a story.
I scouted a laundromat and I saw people living inside of it.
Oh my God. That's heartbreaking. All right, give us the
Mhm.
recap. What's going on? What did we do and where are we at?
On the 3rd, he said that the landlord doesn't care about the space. He can keep it vacant. He's not worried about it. And then when we spoke again on the 11th, it was like, well, we can keep it the same rent that you're asking, but we need to start January 1st.
Right. And you know, there's little things that simply don't make sense. I don't care. We'll write it off. We'll sit on this thing in our hands for the next 10 years. Won't make a damn bit of difference. But that's just blustering. That's just pounding his chest, rattling his saber, and other word salads that I can't think of. You know, if you're going to say a thing, then stick to the guns. There's another mixed
Right.
metaphor. And instead, well, we want to sign a lease on the 1st, which is in a couple of days. So here we are.
Yes, we got the lease from him we got it on Christmas Eve towards the end of day. So
Yeah. And the fun part, we're up to speed just about. The other fun thing is that he wrote back and he said, because of the timing, which is start January 1, I had to rush this lease and get it to your hands and simultaneously to the landlord as well. I did work all afternoon and this morning to finish this, so you have enough time to review. What a guy. Landlord will be reviewing it as well, but I don't anticipate much comments from their side. Let me know if you have any questions, comments. We can get this signed before the new year. Now, this is something you have probably been very carefully fine-tooth combing because you know how I do. You've heard me say it. I'm not a realtor. I don't have any initials after my name. I'm a negotiator. And like many good negotiators, I focus solely on playing the man, not the cards. And in this case, you're the one that's going to look at the lease. So first, because you will use that fine-tooth comb and things will, even although you have never signed a commercial lease, or if you have, it's not for a laundromat, you will say, well, gee whiz, this doesn't look right, and maybe I need a lawyer to look at this part. How many pages is the lease that they sent over?
the lease, the lease itself is 18 pages.
Oh,
and
damn.
Then there is an addendum to the lease that is 10 pages.
Is that about your abatement?
The addendum goes over rental increases, CAM charges, vehicle parking, options. Let's see, condition of the premises. I'm going through all the bullet points. Insurance, signage, brokers, notices, entry by lessor. I don't know why these aren't part of the regular lease, but
Yeah,
venue and choice of law, prohibited drug activity, blah, blah, blah.
A lot of that sounds like it should be standard lease fare, which makes it 28 pages. Let's be realistic. And we're both laughing because we both know that you've heard me say famously, you get a 5-page lease, sign that sucker. You get a 25-page lease, read it. You got a 55-page lease, no, you're starting to get into weird territory. More is never better for the tenant. More is better for the landlord. It's very telling. How large should a laundromat lease be? Well, again, it could be anywhere from a cocktail napkin and a handshake to, I've seen 74 pages. And in this case, I think the addendum is really part of the lease that they've just sort of maybe they use it for different centers. And look, I'm not going to look through or read the whole thing. Which part needs to be, now that we are going to call him up and rattle his cage, what am I talking to him about?
Okay. Well, I have a couple of questions, not for him, but for you.
Yes. Shoot.
In the lease, there's some mention of that service contracts for the HVAC and boilers is required. I was curious if that was something standard that you've come across.
Service contracts from you, so you can. Right. We have a few steps still to go. Number one, we're going to say this needs to change, that needs to change. Number two, when you actually show up to sign the lease, you can redline things and say, by the way, This doesn't seem to be standard. It doesn't make any sense to me. You don't have to have a team of attorneys in blue suits sitting with you, but you yourself can say, not ready to sign this until this is scratched, and they normally will. Service contract in place for the air conditioning. The only thing a landlord is always responsible for, unless otherwise written, is the roof and the three walls, the fourth wall being the glass. You've heard me talk about that. I talk about kids and skateboards, and people don't get that. They're like, wait a minute. Now you can ask for it to be delivered in perfect, pristine condition with no broken glass. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Some people aren't that smart. And so day one, you're out there finding a glass guy. No, thank you. That being said, the roof, always the response. You're not going to have tar coming up out of the parking lot either. The landlord's responsible for the common areas, et cetera, et cetera. That's why I ask you. So if it says that they want you to have an HVAC contract, that means they want you to be responsible for fixing it if it breaks and not them, right?
Right. Yeah. It says within 72 hours of signing the lease, you need to show proof of.
Now we're going to go back to our letter of intent. His red lines. Did you already do this? What did he redline? What did he say about the LOI? Because we asked for HVAC to be warranted or built in, right? That's in our LOI.
Yes. That's in our LOI. He put air conditioning units shall be delivered in working condition, all ductwork and common electric to be warranted within 30 days of commencement date, but there's no mention that they will warranty anything in the laundromat. It basically says as is, where is condition in the lease.
Yeah, that's their standard addendum. And so this is not a hill we need to die on, because if they deliver the air conditioning in working condition and you have a certificate of such, then we're okay come this summer and next. If I were you, I would just redline that, and I wouldn't bring it up in this call. That'll be a red line for lease signing, yes. Because I think it's just standard boilerplate shit that they left in there.
Okay. And then for you, I also was curious, there's mention that I'm required to get plate glass insurance, and I was curious if that just is common and if that's something I can add to my liability policy. If you've ever heard of that.
And what did we just say? Here's why. The landlord doesn't want you duct taping the glass or replacing it with fucking plywood and never removing it. So they're basically saying that, again, look, this isn't Neiman Marcus, right? We're not next door to the Viking Center for ovens. This is a laundromat and all of the things that come with it. These landlords are so used to laundromat operators who bought their store, who paid too much for the equipment, who are essentially failing, that they put this silly shit in their lease. Now, he says that he wants you to have it. He's basically saying he wants to make sure that you fix it. So I wouldn't even mess with that. It's fine.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to ask you. Okay, so for the security deposit, he's asking for
Is this
3 months rent.
Are we done with all the smaller questions?
Yep.
Okay, because the security deposit is... Now look, if you signed this thing and you had to pay what he's asking for, would you be okay with it?
I don't want to tie up $21,000
It's
of my money.
$21,000. Yeah, fuck that. Good.
3 months plus the first month's rent. So that's an issue. And then the abatement only is in the lease. It only states that the base rent is abated. I have to start paying the CAM charges, which is like $1,250 starting month one.
That's standard. There's nothing you can do about that. But we asked for the CAMs to be abated as well. So now we're back to what we thought we already completed, which is negotiation. And that's good, because if he says no to X, then we say yes to Y, then we're meeting at Z. So we can always say, well, dude, if you're asking us to pay CAMs, and we asked for 8 months of abatement in total. So I get it.
This might be a deal breaker because in the lease now he's saying there's 2 swamp coolers, which that wasn't described in his redlined LOI.
Okay. Now we need to go through this. Sure. Space is swamp cooler, 2 swamp coolers is not warranted by landlord. It says that in the lease?
In the lease, everything is as is, whereas there's no warranties provided. But
They don't
in the
want to spend any
LOI,
money.
I understand that. Yeah.
No, I'm just reiterating. Don't forget, I know that you're kind enough to go along with this process with me on YouTube Lives, and you're one of 2 or 3 people that I'm doing that with. But in the interim, I'm doing 3 or 4 of these calls a day with other folks that are in flux that are doing this. And so that's why I never pretend I remember this stuff. I'd be a real if I was in here going, oh, gee, let me look at Rebecca's situation and then get on the phone with her and pretend like I remember all of this. I don't. And frankly, it's not that I don't have room in my brain. It's just there's no need for it. You're always the one that's going to elevate this in your mind and in reality and tell me, so, bro, after all this back and forth shit, he wants 21 grand. He wants you to show up with $21,000. I've had as much as close to 100,000, so that's not bad. But you're right. No, you shouldn't pay it. Absolutely not. And I did tell you, he did say in his LOI response that he wants 3 months. And I said, you know what? You asked me, should we just tell him to draft a lease? Yes.
Yeah.
Because as you've seen, the realtor himself has taken the time and energy and effort, and he wants us to know, I worked like Bob Cratchit all Christmas Eve putting this lease together. Please, dude, you moved some shit around. You made a lease out of boilerplates. But now we're finding out that it's swamp cooled. That is a deal breaker. This landlord doesn't have any money. And when I say that, it doesn't mean he's not a billionaire. I'm sure he's not. But it means maybe millionaire. But it means he doesn't want to spend any money. So we're going from a small thing, which is 21 grand, to swamp coolers. What would you say to Alex right now? Are you fucking crazy? That's what you say. It's 2025. Those words are not in quotes. Are you telling me that in quotes, in the lease, it says space is swamp cooled with 2 swamp coolers and is not warranted by landlord? No, you're writing that.
Yeah, I'm writing that, but he wrote, let me go to the lease. Let me see where it is.
See, you know what they want? They want someone like you to be so interested and intrigued and excited about owning a small business that you just say, well, this will all work itself out. And then in the middle of goddamn August, it's going to be 115 degrees in this place, and there's going to be no customers. And you wonder why.
It says the premises is not equipped with HVAC system, only 2 swamp coolers, which lessor shall deliver in working condition before lessee open for business.
No. All right. So that's what we need to talk to him about. That's all. That's it.
Okay.
And I like your style because we started this call with you saying, hey, I found a store with homeless people living in it, a bunch of hobos riding the rails, and we'll probably be calling them. I'm a little, listen, if I would have walked this place, I would have instantly seen from the photo, from my eyeballs, that it doesn't have air conditioning, right? It's
it doesn't
different.
Look like that. Like the other ones that I've seen that are swamp cooled, I didn't see that in this particular space. I mean, it's closed and there's bars, so it's hard, but I'm looking at the pictures in the ceiling and I don't see the little pop outs that I normally see with the swamp coolers. So I don't know.
I think that the bigger deal eventually will be the fact that they want you to move in with swamp coolers. And you know what my goal is to just get him to say, yeah, that's ridiculous. If he understands it, he can convey that to the landlord. And I'm not going to sit here and talk with you about it because it's academic. You understand. You know, in your field, a surgeon might come in and take a liking to you and say, well, let me explain how to throw a hitch into a heart or whatever it is that he's doing. But instead, he's like, just watch what I do, and then you can do it next time. What is it you say? Learn it, do it, teach it, right?
Sure.
All right, let's call his fruity ass up. So now everything's gone from trying to get you out of a 10,000, which is now a 21,000. Now, why did it all change? Why did it all go up? Because you don't have assets, even though you have an 850 FICO score?
Right.
Yeah. I know I should shut up and let you actually talk. But cell phone, here we go. And you know he's hot after this. He's going to answer.
I bet he is.
Hey, Danny.
I hear children.
Yes.
I hear holidays.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Merry New Year.
Thank you. Same to you.
I'm good. I'm always good.
How you going?
I want to talk to you, man
Uh-huh.
to businessman. I want to tell you that, bro, we had no idea this place is swamp cooled. Come on. It's 2025. It doesn't have air conditioning.
It doesn't happen.
So
It doesn't happen.
would you send your wife or your kids to a dentist that didn't have air conditioning? Come on. We're not in a third world country. I
It
know.
has the swamp coolers.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
what they have.
And
It's going to be
I know, but
I mean, you
no.
think that's going to...
No. We're not.
No?
We're not going to spend $450,000, $500,000, $600,000 on equipment in a swamp cooled space. I didn't know. Normally, I can see the returns.
I didn't know either.
Yeah.
They
Of
told
course
me
not.
last minute.
Of course not.
They said doesn't have one.
You're
Okay, I'll tell
You're
him.
not on the other
Okay.
side of this. We are both in the center of this. You're doing work to try to get this done before the new year. We're over here trying to get it
Yeah,
done.
yeah, no.
And then, I mean, this is not an argument. It's not even a negotiation. Here's the thing.
Any other? Anything else?
Well, there's no need to get to anything else. They don't.
Oh,
They people treat laundromat customers like shit, and they say, "Oh well, it's a why did I say optometrist or the
Honestly,
dentist?"
I have so many laundromats. They don't turn on their AC.
Right.
They never turn it on
Right.
because of the electricity. Because
Right.
of the
20
cost.
years
It just
ago,
doesn't-
when they built these AC units, the tonnage was different. The expense to run them was different. Now it's just, and again, I'm being very, very serious. You know where I'm going with this. I know you wouldn't send your wife or your kids to a dentist without air conditioning, much less a laundromat. I know you wouldn't go to a Chinese restaurant that didn't have, maybe it's nice, it's LA, it's the middle. Right now they can open a door, not turn the heater on, they get away with it. But I'm talking about mid-July. You know what a laundromat does? All of the tumblers, the dryers create heat and
I
tons of
understand.
it. Yeah.
Okay, I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
I'll tell him.
We
I'll tell him. Yeah, it doesn't have it.
there's the switch.
You
that
know,
he's got to pull some money from somewhere, and he's got to air condition this place. That's why our LOI says that.
air conditioning. It should have.
All right, go find
me
out
that
and
there
send
is
me a
no-
text. Let me know what
Okay,
he's going to
all
do.
right.
Wait. If he doesn't do it for us, and he says, "Gee whiz, the next laundromat won't ask for it." A, he's wrong. B, if he says he's going to vanilla the space, he's going to pay for HVAC anyway. That's your
Honestly,
argument.
we had an LOI 2 weeks ago. We should have taken it.
But if you did, you'd be stuck with an idiot who's going to try to swamp cool a laundromat in 2025.
No, he accepted it. He said the
Ugh.
swamp cooler being in working condition, and so okay.
Do you want a foolish tenant? Be serious.
No. And then it was a different scenario, but he's gone.
Yeah,
and-
go call him. You can't say you should have accepted this, that, the other. What you want are
No,
good,
we said
strong
no.
tenants that
No.
are going to bring
Yeah.
more folks to the center. All right, let me
I mean,
know.
your guy is not really strong either. I don't think she has her first time. She's not even in this business.
And
just
she
putting
has-
some money there.
Me, she didn't go out and build one or buy one, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm at her side for the next 25 years. That's the difference.
Okay, my man.
All right, let me know.
Let me talk to him. All right,
All
I
right.
got you. Got it.
One of my favorite things, and I'm not sure, maybe someone on this call does know, I'm not sure, there's got to be a psychological term for when someone acts, it's like good cop, bad cop. I am solely 100% on your side. And then you talk to another person and they say, oh, well, you know, they're not really that good at this. They don't really know what they're doing. They don't really, oh, we should have gone with the other guy. What do you expect me to say? To go into, is that him psychologically trying to get me on his side of the team? Like, nah, she's very strong. You are far, far stronger and better off than 99.997% of the idiots that, well, all of them, everyone that goes out and buys a laundry. You know that. You know that. And the scenario with the last guy, he's trying to play me by saying, oh, we should have gone with the other people. He knows goddamn well he can call the other people and get them back. He knows that. He told us what? He's talking out of both sides of his face a lot. He said they weren't capable, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
And now he's saying he should have gone with them.
All the other people that have shown interest in this space, he said, didn't have any financials, didn't have any money to redo any of this. So,
and that's fine.
maybe
It doesn't take money to do this. I know that because when you do your 11th, 12th, 27th store, you won't spend money because you already know. You're like, oh shit, this is easy. I won't buy a car without 0% interest ever. Why would I? Why would I need a loan? Don't need a loan. Want a loan. Because instead of buying a $110,000 pickup truck and handing them my money, let them float it at 0 because it's a smart way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You heard him say, is there anything else? I just schmoozed right over that shit, right? Is there anything? Yeah, the fucking 21 grand.
Will be.
But you understand why we do it that way.
Yep.
Let him understand that he's got to spend the money on the air conditioning units. This isn't going to get signed at the first of the year unless, right? So he comes back and says, all right, well, we need an addendum and we need to see it all writ out that you're going to have proper tonnage, which is going to be more. And this whole shit, I despise the way that these people, all of them, act as though laundromat customers are dog shit. That's what it goes by. I'll let some homeless people live in my laundromat. They're just laundromat customers. So many directions we can go with this shit. All right, well, Here we are. He sends me a text and says we're good to go with the AC. And this is the psychology of negotiating. If and when he does that, that's when we say, good, put it in writing. Okay, we're good. Now scratch the 21K. All of these daggers or this death by 1,000 cuts, where it's just a little nick and a drip of blood, but eventually you're going to lose 7 quarts. And that's what we're doing here. We're never going to say, imagine day one, we call the landlord and say, all right, damn it, I want you to spend $50,000 on air conditioning. I'm not going to give you any first and last month rent neither. I don't know why I'm country there, but it don't work. Do it.
Hello, Mr. D'Angelo.
How do you feel? And you know me, the waiting is the hardest part, but it's also it's one of the cornerstones, one of the pillars, one of the monkeys in the wrench. That being said, how do you personally feel about the waiting moments?
I honestly don't have a problem with this waiting that I'm doing regarding this lease, because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking that it's not a doable deal. So maybe that's more negative thinking, but I'm not losing sleep about it. I honestly am thinking to myself, like, oh, Tuesday's tomorrow. I want to get Danny back on the phone tomorrow because I have other people that are kind of, in your terminology, dangling participles. Like, I want to be following up with these other people because I'm not just going to stop at one store. So
Good.
if that answers your question. I'm not
Sure.
concerned about this.
Well,
place.
and that's the way you feel now, because you had that moment where I said, okay, you're very close to a deal, but they're writing we've given them our letter of intent and they ignore it. That's usually the hard part for folks. And then I tell you, we're going to wait. But you've experienced what that wait does for you. So now you know. And it's like, aha, when they write back and say, gee whiz, did you want to respond? And so we went from 3 months to no deposit. Then we needed HVAC.
You're asking for 6 and he said they could do 4. So now he's saying, if you want 6, then maybe pay monthly for the difference in the cost of the two.
Right. First, they said first of the year. Now January's all but gone. Yeah, a 4-ton will be $10K, and we got HVAC people probably on here, right? We're looking at everything, upgraded electric. We're going to get all of this in writing. And
Mhm.
6 tons would be 17,000 because of the now we know we're at the lowest plausible rent, and they started with no money. We're not going to spend on anything. If you want to add anything over the 4 tons, it has to be paid by the tenant. I can suggest to amortize. So he's not saying yet that they will. That's very smartly leaving that open.
Yep.
What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, are
Good.
you telling me that 4 ton is acceptable, or what are we trying to do with this phone call?
Here's what
Get
you-
him to
yeah.
acquiesce to 6?
Here's what you don't know. An air conditioning unit in a space this big, if it was just about any other business, would work. You're selling beads, you're running a nail salon, you have an ice cream parlor. But you've heard me say this, the unique scenario with a laundry, we've got all these dryers in there that create all this heat. And on top of that, we've got all these washers that throw tons of moisture in the air. People don't realize AC units remove moisture. You know the little drippy thing outside your house that drips when the air is running? That's removing the moisture from your living space. So those are the 2 jobs. And laundromats have... Now, when you do a 6-ton unit, you're not going to have to deal with it because they're not going to warrant it. So then he hits you with the $116 a month. So you're relying on me. Would 4 tons work? Yeah, but you wouldn't be happy.
Yeah.
So he's kind of smartly leaving it open to, well, we could amortize it. So I think that this call is just all other things being equal. Yes, let's move forward. And we want to see in writing what this is going to cost, et cetera, so on.
Okay. We won't address any of my other issues until future phone calls.
Well, what
We're
issues?
just gonna-
What other issues do you have?
Oh, all those other ones in blue. Obviously, security deposit that will hit with them later on. I understand.
Yeah, we
that.
haven't even seen that yet.
Yeah. So I don't think there's anything else really to discuss because this seems to be the sticking point right now.
Yeah, and this is the way the game is played. And look, we could email him that we want him to do this thing. And I don't do this for the YouTubes. I do this with everybody. I want to be able to hear what is said. And it also gives me the opportunity to not make this sound like it's a big deal. It's not a big deal. So
Okay.
we're doing the thing. Let's do that. But look, we trust you, but we want to see all this shit in writing.
Basically, amend the lease that you already gave us.
Yeah.
Stating
Well,
this.
he could drop an addendum on it. And you've seen the entire lease. And the only big thing is that that deposit needs to go away.
Yeah, I mean, there's other smaller ancillary things like signage. There's actually signage from the previous laundromat that's sitting in the laundromat.
Yeah.
In addition to signage from another business upstairs. So.
Yeah, you can reuse the part that says laundry and ditch the other. Abatement. I mean, yeah, you've got that abatement 3 months post-install. Psh, genius. This is how you get rich.
Let's get rich.
Well, I'm not going to get rich.
I mean, you're already rich.
I'm already rich. I'm rich in many ways. All right, I'm looking at his name and his cellular phone number.
Yeah, that's the one.
All right, stand by.
How you doing, Danny?
Never felt better, never had more.
Yeah.
Air conditioning. Look, I trust you like the brother I've never met, but if we can put all this, I just want to make sure that everything's, we see all the receipts for everything because,
Yes.
I mean, if I'm hiring my cousin to do this kind of work, it's different than some
No, I tell you,
preposterous.
this landlord is pretty ethical. He's not the
No, yeah,
type
sure.
of a person. I assure you. I mean, I would accept this if I was talking about some other person, but this guy he has proven that he's not like that at all.
Good,
He's
good.
going to give us he's going to give us the right invoice. And I was on the call with his AC guy when we were talking anyway. So,
And he probably understood. And I'm not going to educate you on this, but we all think, I always thought air conditioning just cools the air, but it also removes the moisture from the air. So what do laundromats do? Our dryers throw heat in the air, and the washers put tons of moisture in the air. So no matter how humid it is outside, you know the way your home air conditioner, there's that little piece of PVC that drips outside? That's all the moisture being removed from your living space. And ours are rocking because, AC units, it's very hard for them to keep up with laundromats. Your HVAC guy probably knew that.
Yeah. No, obviously he wanted the job, so he was pushing for it.
Well, let's squeeze him as much as possible. And
so we did. He's probably the best price. He got 3 quotes, and this was probably the best price. Now, you never know when they come in what else they want, but he looked at it. I'll ask for a new quote to make sure that we are on the same page. How many tons do you think you need? Like, you want a 6 or 7?
Well, but that's the thing. Normally, if it goes from 4 to 6 or 6 to 7, it'll be the same price, if you know what I mean, because he can do a 7-ton unit. I don't know how these things work. And then every year they change the regulations and whatever else. If it's a larger one, we're not afraid to pay the bill, if that's your question. So whatever we can get.
The larger we get, the better it is.
Correct.
So you're okay with me proposing for you to pay over the 4-ton, the cost over the 5 years or something?
Yes.
You're okay with that?
Let's do it.
Okay. So I'm going to work on that. I'm not going to tell him. I'm going to make sure to get a quote first before I propose this to make sure that you guys are protected.
It makes sense because we're asking for more tonnage, and 4 would work for an optometrist. It's not going to work for us.
No, I understand. I agree with you. It needs at least a 6 or 7. So we're going to push for 7. If the price is $1,000 more than a 6, it's better to get a 7.
Yeah.
Whatever it
Good.
is.
Let me know. Send me a text.
Tell him we need a quote for 7.
Yeah.
All right. I'll let you know.
Thanks, buddy.
No problem.
Ciao.
Thank you. Ciao.
Nice guy.
Perfect.
Always. The landlord is ethical. Well, it's funny because I always think everybody's ethical. I really do. Especially, I'm serious.
I think his experience tells him otherwise.
Yeah, maybe I'm naive, but I when somebody says to tell you the truth 50 times, I start to wonder, like, why you keep saying that? Just tell me the truth. But, I'm serious. I always think, oh, well, gee whiz, that's why I want the shit in writing. When you show us what you're paying for everything, unless it's your nephew, then we're golden. And you know what I mean? 2 5-ton units, they have to get a crane there, right, for instance. And the crane costs by the hour. So the crane can put 1 5-ton unit on your roof, and in the same hour, they can put another 5-ton unit. To them, they don't give a shit. So that's, for instance, where your $150 for the crane operator for the hour is done either way. It's not going to be $300 because you want more tonnage.
Right.
We're getting closer.
Sounds great.
It is great.
Hi, Danny.
We started off being told, well, you're not going to get that. And there's no way he's going to do that because this is the landlord's agent. Oh, well, he's never done that. But thus far, he
has no money. He doesn't want to throw any money at it. Now he's going to put in AC.
Right. Air conditioning units. Because there's no argument. Maybe that's true. Maybe you have never done this before. Okay. But tomorrow is another day. And the day after tomorrow, he can't say he's never done it, and he probably will. I've never done that. But there is no argument. You're going to vanilla the space and hand it off to any other business without proper air conditioning? Come on. That's not realistic. Pulling back the curtain and making them understand is part of what I'm good at. Far too many people are so excited about owning any business that they're willing to make big mistakes. Oh, I've just got to have this business. And part of that's greed. I'm not saying you're greedy, but without greed, there are no con men. Without greed on both sides, it's not just the con man who's trying to take your life savings. It's you that thinks you're going to double your life savings that allows the con man to get in your pocket. We're saying, no, I don't need this deal so badly that I'm going to lose. And that's why I say waiting is the hardest part. And it is.
I mean, he's Johnny on the spot. If we don't respond to an email, he's emailing us the next business day. So
Right. And we've learned that. Hey, are you still interested? Come on. You know we're still interested.
it's happened numerous times in this whole process that he's constantly emailing us back asking if we're interested, and we're playing hard to get.
Well, speak for yourself. So now the air conditioning happens. You were supposed to sign this thing first of the year. So it's been almost a month. I almost feel as though the agent is basically trying to get this done before the end of this month now so that he can save face. But
yeah,
the air
but how does
conditioning.
that work? Does the lease get signed and then the air conditioning gets installed
Within 30 days.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what our LOI said, remember? It always says within 30 days. We want to be clear. And it might take them 30, 40, 60 days, but you start to see, I mean, anything that you have the money to pay for is going to get done within a month. It's not going to take any longer than that.
Yeah.
You have ended up with every single thing that we asked for in the beginning, and that's where we are. Now you're supposed to go in and sign, but today is the day that we make the final call and twist the knife and say, by the way, there will be no deposit on the lease.
I don't even want to hand over that quantity of money towards future rent, but we'll see what happens.
I hear you, and I'm going to work for that as well. Do you have it? If you need to give it to them?
I have it.
Okay.
Yeah, I do, but I would prefer not to.
Of course. Absolutely. And trust me, I'm going to fight for you as though it was my money. What this landlord is doing really,
I hired you.
and this, thank you. What this landlord is doing really is taking your deposit money and using that for the AC units.
I never thought of it that way.
Well, that's what I'm going to say to him when he balks about it. I'm going to say, and you didn't think about it, that's very telling, right? Until this very moment when I said it, but that's the reality of it. Do you think he's going to take your deposit money and put it in some low interest bearing account and let it sit there? No, he's going to fucking use it to pay for your air conditioning units. And you're laughing, but showing the reality, turning the mirror on the reality, shedding light on the reality is what I'm good at. And when you laugh about it, you say, well, that's funny. This is not some separate account. They don't have to show you what they do with your deposit money. You're not going to return the laundromat with clean carpets and drapes, as I say.
Yes, you do say that.
I do say that. And when I say thanks for keeping me straight, it's because I know that you just emailed me the draft again. So the only thing, how many pages is it?
The lease itself is 18, and then the addendum is 10.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
This is the biggest, look, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a real estate agent. I don't have any initials after my name other than HMIC. Give you a minute. When I see a 7-page lease, I say, sign it. That's great.
Yeah.
Less is more for you, the tenant. When I see a 75-page lease, I'll say, that's the biggest lease I've ever seen. I don't care if you're renting a Fifth Avenue apartment or an entire building. They don't need to have all these ridiculous clauses. So this is a nice sized lease. By the way,
Yep.
the last email before the last email where you said, are you still interested? It was good news. Remember when I told you, I said it shouldn't cost a dime more between 4 tons and 7?
Yeah.
Remember when I talked about bringing the crane, that it's the same cost? For instance, they charge by the hour. It's a small, he just said, well, they'll install the 4-ton and the 3-ton, total of 7 as you requested. He, meaning the landlord, didn't mention anything about adding the additional cost of the 3-ton to your rent, so I'm not mentioning it either. Now,
Yeah.
that makes me wonder a little bit. I've never met this guy, nor have you. He knows this landlord. I don't know if he's ever met him, but we make assumptions. So is he really on our side, or is this something they discussed? Either way, all we are calling up to do now, and you've heard it, right? On my channel, on lives. This is a real thing that's happening right now. I'm just going to say, congratulations, nicely done. We're all very excited. One small thing, scratch the deposit. Then I shut up. How much is the deposit?
$21,664.
We have a lot of layers. Now that's mid-range. Deposit's usually like $5,000 it starts, where they just want 5. Where did they come up with 21K? What is it in total?
It is 3 months, the security deposit, 3 months. It's equal to 3 months and then the first month's rent. So all told, technically 4 months. Right.
Okay. 3 months security deposit is just, and look, when you rent a car, you have to have a credit card. They're not going to take a debit card. You understand that? Because a debit card, I could rent a car, go to the bank, take all my money out, and now they have no recourse. Maybe you don't think about that. They don't rent cars to many 18-year-olds because they don't have a credit card with any type of balance on it. A credit card, they're going to charge you the $300 for your 3 days of rental and $300 insurance. It's not called insurance, $300 deposit. But that's really to pay their insurance if you wrap that thing around a tree. That $300 deposit for the rental car has to be on a credit card, not a debit card. Because they zap it out, and then they give it back to you if you return the car without too many coffee stains. When you rent an apartment, we're also used to first and last month's rent. When you're speeding down the freeway, there's those horrible apartments that you don't want to live in or even look at. And there's that banner, $0 move-in. Oh, that means no first and last, no deposit. Or does it? I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't rented one of those places before.
But if they're able to offer that this month, and you see the banner every time you drive by, when you finally pull in there to move in and move out of your folks' house and the banner's gone, you're like, wait a minute, I thought this was the place with the no deposit, move in for 0. Oh, that was last month. Well, fuck you. You can do it now. If you did it last month, you can do it now. But nobody says that. Any more than you go to Walmart and say, I really like this Bud Light t-shirt. It probably cost you 14 cents as one made in China. Can I get it for 15 cents? I'll give you a penny. No, you pay $11.99. People are not only afraid to negotiate, they're horrible at it. They don't understand how to put it in terms that people understand. And that's precise. And now I'm being wordy, but it's probably because I don't want to talk to this guy because I'm scared to ask him for $21,000 for free. But there's layers to it, as I started to say. There's layers. We have.
You're not afraid?
No, I'm not afraid. You have to ask. If you don't ask, you're not going to get it. I'm married. I know. If you don't ask, you're not going to get it. But you have to. Both sides have to have a back door. Speaking of being married. Both sides have to have a way out. I don't do a lot of discussion about making these calls because it's academic, and the more I talk, I think the more it increases the chances that when we actually call, nobody's going to answer. And then it's like, shit.
Yeah.
But also,
Well, I mean, I know you need like a little starter you can't just come out with the security deposit. So we have a couple little starters you can ask for.
yeah, that was the next thing. So there's always, hey, everything looks great. We're excited. When can we sign? And now you're creating a roller coaster of the mind. He's saying, oh, finally, this shit is over with. I can get this off my plate. Good, good, good.
Get my $500 commission check and call it a day.
Yeah, then you pull the rug a little bit and you say, but we want you to change the locks and then remove the deposit. And he's going to say, oh, there's no way that I can do. What's the little thing?
The little thing is, I'd say about a month or two ago, I drove by at night and the common area lights were not on. I don't know if it's because whomever is in charge of it didn't turn them on or if the lights don't work, but it's very, very dark.
Have you ever seen them on in recent months? Maybe it's a timer that's off?
I mean, it was later at night. It should have been on because it was completely pitch dark. So,
but you have seen them on before?
I've not seen them on, no. Oh. Typically, I'm only there during the daytime just to check on it. And I was there one time at night and they were not on.
And I'm going to say, look, I don't want to get into an addendum or put this all in the lease. I'm going to consider it in an email that being in writing that it will be covered. And then we'll get him to say yes and then scratch the deposit.
Yeah.
Good? Smart.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing, I don't know if you want to hit him with this.
Oh, God. Now it's three things.
Really. It doesn't matter either way, honestly. I'm okay, but I know the LOI we talked about that the base rent and the CAM charges are abated, and maybe it's just boilerplate in the lease that he sent over, but it says that CAM charges will start month one. I mean, it's not a very big deal, but it just was different than the LOI.
Yeah. Well, we don't mention CAMs or triple nets in the LOI. We leave it open to interpretation. And it is fairly standard that, well, we asked for what, $1,000 for 6 months. And it's the CAMs and triple nets are probably less than that. You follow?
Yeah.
So it's probably a good thing. And that also gives us another layer, another thing that we can say, by the way, and here's why we only bring up this deposit ever when we're ready to sign, when you're ready to sign, because now it's been decided. Now they're all on the other side of the table saying, this is done, it's a deal, she's good to go. And whether or not he had someone I mean, you're not a millionaire, you don't have this, no offense, but what you have going for you is good credit. And even with poor credit, if this didn't work, you go across the street and you do another deal. That's the way this works. Every deal that I do and that you hear live on this channel, I'm talking to the folks, not you, every deal is different. And just because she happens to be an intelligent woman with good credit doesn't mean that you have to be to do this. You just take a different deal. That's all. And again, people think, oh, well, if that's what she's doing, then I can't. Or, my God, let me go buy a laundromat from someone because I sent them a letter and they're willing to take my $100,000 deal and only $40,000 down. Now I'm going to go to my church and borrow money and my cousin and my aunt and my parents, and I'll owe them the 40 grand. Then I walk in day one, turning the key on a piece of shit laundromat that's not making any money, in fact, is losing. And by the way, sign the long-term lease. That is, I'm sorry, you're taking over the existing lease, which is already topped out. I'm getting angry now. All right, perfect. Let's
take a deep breath. Don't raise your blood pressure.
Yeah. Oh, it's too late. Let's make a phone call. I don't think he has the ability to say yes now, but
I don't think so.
We're just going to say, look, go do what you got to do. And the funniest thing is, I say, look, he's just going to use that to buy the air conditioning units. He's got to come up with the money, or this is not a deal, and we're willing to walk away.
And we can't say it's boilerplate because he specifically asked before he created the lease if we could make it 3 months security deposit. So
yeah, we've just ignored it until now.
You're good at that.
There's plenty of thank you. Thank you. There's plenty of outs. All right, stand by. Here we go.
Hey, Danny.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yo. There you go. You don't call. You don't write.
I call, I write.
You don't write.
This is
you
how
play
I
this
do it.
game. You wait.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's sign this thing. Two things.
I can't sign it. I have 2 offers better than yours.
Yes.
I just got
Rebecca-
2 offers.
Rebecca. Oh, all right. Good.
Yeah. I got 2 offers. I gave it to the landlord. We thought I keep emailing you. Where are you? And then you don't call. I didn't want to give it to him, but I had no choice. I thought you're gone.
It's
I tried
been
to
two.
reach you a
It's
few
been
times.
it's been 2 days.
That's why
All right,
I've been
good.
asking you.
So
What do you want?
when we first got together, you said that the last guy didn't have good credit, and so you want to go through all that
Yeah.
again? That's fine with me.
I have to check. Now that I gave it to him, I have no choice.
All right.
I'm
I wish you luck.
in other words, I don't want to do it. Honestly, it's just too much work for me. I already done the work. I'd rather do it with Rebecca.
Yeah, it's like you
and
said,
get it done.
you've already done the work, and you want to. I'm not arguing with you.
Exactly. I gave it to him. That's why I did. Yeah, that's why I asked you.
Okay.
I
You're
wanted to just get it done and not present.
you're his mouthpiece. Every time we've talked. I don't send emails or negotiate over email. So I'm not arguing with you. You say you've got another offer.
No,
Go do that.
I got it.
We're at the finish line here. It's fine. Go
I
do
know. We're gonna come back to you.
that.
But
Okay. Thanks.
I have to
Let me
give him
know.
a chance.
Goodbye. What a joke. What a fucking joke. So let's talk about your raw feelings right now. Was there ever a moment you're like, oh shit, I'd happily give the $21,000 deposit right now if I could just have this place?
No.
Good. Because most people feel that way. Oh my.
Oh.
We've been dealing with this guy since October. So what? So what? I want to say that if it wasn't for this being live on YouTube, I probably would have hung up with him the minute he said he has other people involved. I was ready to. Because,
Right.
I always think there will be people in the comments that will say he's full of it. He doesn't have any other offers. No, I think he does. I always give people the benefit. I believe people tell the truth. It doesn't make sense, number one, for him to bring that up. I have 2 other offers, he said.
Yeah. Out of the blue, man.
In 2 days, 2 offers? Oh, okay. Gee, am I supposed to now say, I really wish that we could get this done? Is that what we're supposed to do?
Only if you want to sound desperate.
Am I supposed to beg and grovel? No, the instant methodology is to say, good luck. And I couldn't help but say the one thing, which is, when we got together on this, you told me that you couldn't find someone that had the ability to do this, and now you have someone that does. But I'm still thinking about the 21K. And this happens a lot. Talk to all of my success stories and deal with all of my success stories, and you'll see they're all in the same boat where you get really close and then they pull the rug out. So no big deal.
Yeah.
You know
Well,
that.
listen, I'm ready to move on. We didn't our Tuesday calls, and I honestly have one that I wanted to follow up on, which I knew we weren't going to be able to do when we were discussing this with Alex. So
we can certainly do that right up until I have clients that they sign a lease and then immediately want to move forward with more stores the next day, and that's fine. But, it depends on your bandwidth. Good.
Yeah.
All right. No big deal. I don't speculate, but I think that he's going to probably circle back. And by the way, all of this fervor that's new that I talked about earlier, all of this fervor in laundries, they have 2 other offers because this place is shuttered.
Yeah.
The preponderance of the stores that we take over are not. I'm not giving, a lot of my clients, I don't think this is the case with you, a lot of my clients, man, I wish you weren't so big already, Danny, because everybody's out there knocking down the door of every laundromat. That's not true. There's tons of these places. When I field an email from someone who's never stepped foot in a laundromat and they say, you're all over the internet talking about how you do this, I assume that Southern Cincinnati has been shut down and all the laundromats are gone. Okay, get off your ass and go look, is what I say. And then a day later, they say, wow, I had no idea. It's embarrassing that we are in this business when you see the condition of these places. Joe Kling just sent me a bunch of still photos.
Mhm.
Shit, I can go old school and look at it, right? And show it to the camera. I can do that. He's like, I was going to text you these two pictures with a sense of disdain for their poor business decisions. $5. They charge $5 for the laundry card. If you put $20 in, they charge you $2 on the change machine. I know. You have to go back and watch this. Then he showed me what was in their vending machine. Their vending machine has pears from the dollar store, and they're charging $3 for a can of pears. But even better, right next to it is black turtle beans, fancy, $3 for a can of beans. This is in their vending machine. And then they have eggs. They have eggs. It gets worse. They have eggs. Eggs.
Maybe they're living there, and that's just their.
I
their
thought
food
that,
store.
but they're all in one of these corkscrew machines, the vending machine, and they're all stacked in there. And Joe posts all the pictures, and he shows me there's a dozen eggs in here that it says $1 on it. Okay, those are old eggs. Those are old eggs. And he writes, I'd like 1 can of botulism, please. We start going on further with the text. Oy vey. These are, it's embarrassing. These are people that are running these businesses and somehow paying their rent.
I sent you pictures of the people that were living in the laundromat.
Yeah. And that's,
Crazy.
is it sadder if they're the operators, or is it sadder if they're the operators' non-paid attendants, that they just say, just live in there and make change for people. I trust you. Nurse Rebecca, you have an amazing, amazing attitude, and I appreciate you. And if I hear now listen, we're going to play the game. If he does email, send me a text, because you'll probably be more Johnny on the spot with my hundreds of emails. And we'll text him. I don't care what time it is.
Okay.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Chat.
Hi, Danny.
Hi, Rebecca.
You sound so sleepy.
I'm tired. I'm not sleepy.
Yep.
All right, so up to speed here. Round and round we go. Up and down we go. We have all the things happening. We're getting the proper rate of rent. And then a week or so ago, we call him up. He says, we have another offer.
2 other offers. That's
2.
correct. Yep.
Yeah, 2. 1 is 2, And
Yeah.
I said, all right, well, it's been nice bullshitting with you.
Yep.
And
That was about 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm.
I was commended for my stellar reaction, which...
Now that I give it to him, I have no choice.
All right. I wish you luck.
In other words,
It's what you have to do. You can't beg the guy to do something. All right, so you're going to have to refresh my memory. We were about to call him then and get rid of the $21,000 security deposit. That was about it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is good.
Everything else is good. Since in the last 2 weeks, I have relooked at the LOI and the lease, and I noticed that in the LOI under flooring, he left it in there that they will remove the existing flooring,
Okay.
but that's not mentioned in the lease. So that can be a little small something.
Yeah, we need a small something to lead up to the big something, but I wouldn't bring that up because that could be a couple $1,000s. That's no small thing, TBH.
Okay. Okay.
And if he left it in the yellow, I mean, they don't sign the LOI. The lease is the lease.
Yeah, it's not in the lease.
You could come back later and say, gee willikers, I mean, what's changed here is, hey, I don't beat these people up. I don't call up and say, hey, what happened to your 2 other offers, bud? There's no reason for
Right.
that. I'm sure they were real. I'm sure that the 24 whole hours that I didn't respond is why he decides to go take other, and those other offers were probably double what you are offering.
But they probably have no financials and probably a bad credit score.
Oh my God. Can you imagine? They're so into the and look, I do this all the live long day with people with no financials and horrible credit scores. The landlord just kind of looks the other way. This agency is one of the 3% that wants something good. What else is a small thing? What else? What can I lead with here?
We talked about the lights in the common area being.
Yeah. That was it.
Yep.
Why does it say 16,000?
I guess the security deposit is technically 16 plus the first month's rent. So all due at lease signing is 21,664.
Okay, so those were my bullet points then.
Yeah.
Lights in the common area. You are so good at reminding me. I've done since we called him, I've done, I think, 8 lease signings. So, all right, good.
Nice.
Lights in the common area, small thing. And the lease is drafted. He already did that, right?
Yes, correct.
And this is what you're sending me. How many pages is it?
It was 18 for the lease and then 10 pages for the addendum.
Why is the addendum so huge? Huge.
I don't know. It seems like a lot of it huge. It seems like a lot of it should be in the regular lease, but then you were like, well, maybe it's just specific to this shopping plaza.
Yeah. All right. I get the feeling. Look, I want to get this done, and we haven't talked about the deposit. It always shows up last. There's all this. The reason that we don't ever mention the deposit on the first phone call or the middle phone call or at some point prior to this is because they've made up their mind. But I think this guy is more willing to walk. You've got the air conditioning. Right. You've got 9 months free rent. You've got all the stuff. And now it's time to, our first thing is, well, remove the deposit. And I said this before. It sounds to me like the landlord is just using her deposit to pay for the air conditioning. Aha!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is true. The word deposit doesn't mean they're going to put it in a bank vault somewhere and lock it up and then give it back to you when you return the place with clean drapes. It's not what it is. They're going to move money around. All right, that's my hook. Without further ado, here we go. It's a New York minute.
Oh, you're in New York minute.
Ready to...
How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Let's get this thing done.
Okay, let's do it.
Two small
what
things.
Do you need?
I'm glad you asked. Rebecca had gone, I don't think she's ever been there at night. She went by and the place is a ghost, not a ghost town, but a scary sort of operation at night. The common area lights don't work. And, I don't need that in writing. We just want to make sure that maintenance is going to light the place up because we eventually will plan on doing 24 hours. And she's going to sign this thing and ask you to scratch the deposit. You've got $16,000 deposit in this thing on a 15-year lease.
You're not gonna do it without. You're not gonna do it without deposit, unfortunately. She has no
Well,
track record. She has nothing.
So that what you're telling me is
She
that
has no assets.
the landlord's gonna take the money and use it to buy the air conditioning units. It's not a real deposit. Come on, you and I both know
don't
that.
think so. No, they're just gonna keep it in case she defaults.
Okay.
And
So how about this?
that's what
She's already got approval for $450,000 in equipment, or none of this would have even happened.
Listen, I have been learning a little bit more about this business, and I didn't know this much before, but I've learned that anyone and their mother can get approved because you don't own the equipment. Like the last guy we had, he came, he got $500,000 equipment, and they came and took it. Once he left, they came and took
That's
it.
the
And
same as
us.
do you own your house?
I understand, but then you have
Okay.
equity. You have zero equity.
One of
You
my
have-
first
you don't put any money down.
my first job out of the Navy was repossessing cars. It was great fun. These people get
No,
mad.
I'm
They
just
can't.
saying
They take a
your
baseball
house.
bat. You don't own it. You don't own the house. You don't own the
No,
car. It's the same as
listen,
everything.
The house, you need to put 20%, 50%, 30%.
Oh, they want
something
30% down. Well, let's talk about the last guy. I'm happy to go through the ringer with you. The last guy who they
Yes.
repossessed his equipment, he bought the laundromat, likely. He built the laundromat. This is not what she is doing. We're starting at a zero-sum
she built
game.
it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he bought it, and then he built it
He's an
after
idiot.
yeah, exactly. He changed the entire thing, and then he didn't own anything. It's like this,
You know
Rebecca.
what's-
She comes in there.
Yeah. Here's what's funny.
You have to have.
These people, and I'm going to go with this thread here. These people, they think they're picking up gold out of the streets because it's a laundromat. They're going to prey on the poor. They're going to, and the distributors, brother. You said you've learned a little something about this. I'm glad you did some research. These distributors are happy to sell the equipment at double the value. She's bringing in Hips, Speed Queen, Wascomat, American Dryer, Dexter, Continental Gerbeau, Maytag, some companies you've heard of, some you haven't.
Yeah.
11 distributors will come in and fight over her business because she has me to explain this to her. And like you saw, that guy lost the business because he built it. We've got a $300,000 leg up. There's no EPA fees. I'm happy to say that. So we're not 16 grand away from a deal. Give the money back. When do you want to give the money back? Let's make it.
You can give one deposit back in towards the end of the second year if she's good, everything is going well, and then give another one back.
Okay, I'm listening.
On the fourth year.
Okay, so the whole thing,
2 years.
the whole thing comes back at year 4.
No, one stays. No, one stays. It's not gonna.
What do you mean one space?
There is no.
What, I don't know.
There is one stays with landlords. She's giving 3 deposits. How many?
You're talking about
deposits
3
she's giving
months
us?
of rent.
3 months, yeah. 3 months. She's giving us equal to 3 months deposit. I'll talk to him to give one back.
Oh no, you already said you can't go back now. You said 2 years and 4 years, and then
year 2, year 4, and one deposit stays with landlord towards the end of the lease.
It's 15-year lease. That's a free loan for 15 years.
And the $15,000 is not that much.
It's not that much. And
it's
like
not
you said,
that much
you're allowing her to have a leg up. Look, she knows about the ancillary costs. I told her it's going to be not 5 times what you think it is. It's probably 10 times. Camera equipment, running an Alexa system in the store. The change tables need to be upgraded. All the ancillary items. This is the money that she needs to get that done. It's not leveraging everything. You say you have to ask.
Go in a deal. Yeah, we can't go in any deals without a deposit if she doesn't have any assets.
We've established
she has zero assets.
She's bringing the money. You already said year 2.
She has $80,000.
Oh, look.
Her net worth is
How many
$80,000.
people do you know that has 80 grand that's not a real estate investor? Come on. That's pretty good. Honestly. I think that's
I mean, to
impressive.
open a business is crazy. I think it's crazy to open a business on $80,000.
Well,
Her
this
entire savings are $80,000.
yeah, I don't know if you're looking at a net worth statement.
She has nothing. I looked.
Okay.
She has no house. She has no real estate.
I
She
know
has
that
80,000.
there's a lot more in bank statements with her, but I'm not arguing with you. I
Or
don't
maybe
want to
she
go.
didn't show it to us and we accepted it.
Okay, yeah. I have seen
You
it,
know,
and I know
so
that she. Again, I don't want to make this.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope she has money. I hope she has money, not because if she defaults, we're going to go after her.
Right.
I hope she has money to run a business. I hope she has
Now, if
money to
somebody
finish
defaults
this.
on a small business, the last thing you want to do is go after them because they've already lost everything. I know that.
Exactly.
I saw the net worth and the bank statements. She sent everything you wanted. You're wrong. I'm not going to say a number. She's got a lot more than that. Here's the point.
Okay.
You said 2 and 4. Give the third month back at year 10. And then
Never.
that's never.
Never.
Wow.
Never give her back until the end of the lease.
End of the
Because
lease. How much is it? What are we talking about?
Because $5,000. I have to present something that makes sense to be able to convince the guy. He wasn't born yesterday. Even this will be probably he's going to get scared. But I want to tell him, hey,
okay.
it's part of negotiation. They negotiate. Yeah.
You start saying things like wasn't born yesterday, that's offensive. I don't think anybody in this conversation, including the landlord whom I've never talked to, was born yesterday.
No, I'm just saying that the guy is a smart guy. He's very nice and he's cooperated. But he's like a more seasoned guy. He's like, no one has ever done a deal without a deposit.
Oh, I love when
Everybody
I hear
keeps a
that.
deposit.
Alex, no one's ever climbed Mount Everest until
Not
they
in
did.
my world.
All the Sherpas do it. So we're looking at this.
Okay.
This is not a nail salon where you've got a dozen cousins that are going to be working with you. It's not a dollar store. You buy the shit in China for 50 cents and sell it for $1. This is a laundromat.
All right.
She's committed to the money.
I give him
Go
2,
back
4, and
2,
1 stays.
2, 4, and 10. You said you have to ask him, so go ask him. And then she comes in the morning and signs this thing. Go ask. You can text me and say yes or go fuck yourself. Just
If he says,
go.
okay.
Go
so
ask.
if you say no, what's going to happen? Okay, I will.
I haven't
But
talked
if
to
he
her.
says
I'll
no,
talk
what?
to her. To me,
You talk.
whenever this
Yes.
look, you're my mouthpiece. You're going to go argue with this guy and say, look,
Yes.
let's get this thing done.
I know.
It's
I'm
about
gonna
the
say,
money
get
that
this
she
done.
spent. If she doesn't spend the money on the equipment, year 2 will never come, and you'll keep it all. That's what you say. All right.
He might
Text
say,
me.
okay, because
Let me know.
he might say she wants, and so it's lighting outside, and the
That's
deposit
a
needs
small
to,
thing, and you have to do that anyway. Yeah, new light bulbs and
yeah,
2, 4,
yeah,
and
we
10.
need to
All right, just text me.
go for it. Okay.
You the man. Bye. I will never, ever back down from no lease deposit. You're getting it.
That was beautiful.
You're getting it. It's all about shutting. And I love when the guy on the other side, or gal or entity, when they say something stupid that I can push back on. Try not to be an idiot. He said, what did he say? What was his little statement? Oh, the landlord wasn't born yesterday. That's upsetting. Don't say to me, meet me in the middle. Okay, how many times have you heard that? What am I watching, Deal or No Deal? Don't use this common verbiage that you learned in 9th grade. Don't say he wasn't born yesterday. Don't say win-win. There's no such thing. I'm always going to pounce on those things. And really what I'm doing psychologically is putting him in his place. That's all I'm doing. I'm not going to stand for that type of thing. So that was a bit of a turning point. And then when he said, never say never. That's like saying in a negotiation, this is the absolute best that we can do. Look, he went from, no, you have to bring 3 months lease, 21,000. He went from that to you can have one back in year 2, one back in year 4. We're not going to give you a 15-year loan. And then the last thing I want to do, I'm breaking my arm, pat myself on the back. Here's your argument, because that's what he's going to do. He wants you to do this. He's sick of going round and round with this. Trust me, he is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Go back to the landlord and tell him, oh, she's got nothing. And I was reading your comments that, you know, you have a lot more in assets and you sent it, but he didn't read it.
No, I don't even know where he got that figure, honestly. If he looked at the application that he asked me to fill out, that's
He
not
didn't.
a figure on.
You ever hire anyone? You ever been in charge of hiring anyone? Resumes?
No,
Okay.
no.
People, I get a stack of resumes, and several of them are stapled with 3 things and you know, their flight attendant experience, and I throw them away. I don't want the ones that are 5 pages. If you were a former president of Uruguay, you're going to have a 1-pager. It's going to say former president of Uruguay, maybe a picture of your kids. It's all I need to know. When you're showing this guy this statement, he's looking at 3, 4, 5 pages and paying attention to none of it. That's the point.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to really insult you by saying, I don't know how many people that are listening to this live right now that have 80,000 liquid, but yeah, oh, I see what your statement is, and that's your business. It's 20 times that. Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even look at the statements. And that's why I love the document, because you and I can sit and communicate, and I'm comfortable saying, oh, she has nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy? The preponderance of my highly successful clients go into this without a fucking dime. They're usually, I don't want somebody to use a credit card to buy my my silly course. I don't want them to do that. But
Your
people,
very valuable course.
yeah, whatever. People do, it's not stupid, it's silly. But I can only self-deprecate to a certain point.
Right.
What I heard was there's a moment where, look, I want to be frank, I enjoy this, and most people don't. And the point of enjoying it, picking up the phone and calling someone and asking for, you're already 30,000 ahead. You've already got the months and months of free rent. You've already got a rental rate that is better than anyone that comes down the pike. But it's the moment when they say, no, we're going to do this. And then that's when you have to just shut up. And he spoke first.
Mm-hmm.
To say, never. Really? Well, you can't say that tomorrow. That's hilarious, because I'm ready for that. Is that supposed to stop us in our tracks? We've never done that. In all my experience, I've never seen someone come to the table with, no, she's bringing the money and you're not going to keep it. To me, it is the opposite. It's preposterous to think that you're going to let them keep that money. And do you think you're going to get it back when you vacate? You're not.
Nope. I think the previous operator, it was a, if I'm digging in the records properly, it seems like it was owned by a distributor and then they sold it to someone. And then obviously that operator didn't work out and they pulled all their equipment.
The more that they talk, the more they're slitting their own throat, because he says, oh, the previous operator, they don't own it, they repossess it. Do you own your house? You heard him. I was taking a gamble. He might have said, yes, I've had it for 30 years, but he goes, this is different. Motherfucker, you got a mortgage, right?
Yeah.
Do you own your car? Let's play the game. You're not Danny D'Angelo. Anyway, you wrote here in the document, I wrote thoughts, ? And you wrote, I mean, which is funny. You took the time to write that. I'm okay to get it back. And as I'm reading that, as you're typing, I'm like, oh God, she's going to say, let him have it. But I wouldn't do that. I can't. It's not, my record is perfect. No one gives a deposit. What you're giving here is a short-term loan to these people. You're going to get it back. And that he's going to go back to him. And it's funny because he wants to act like he's on the landlord side. He's more on your side because he wants to get it done.
Yeah, he wants to get it done. He's like, I don't want to write another lease. I don't want to do any of this anymore.
That's why I make it easy and just say, dude, just text me. I'm waiting for him to text me here.